there's edits on that. There's edits on my page where I've shot a concert and gone home and edited for the night and then turn the edit around to 10 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Like you don't sleep?
I'll shoot the concert from like maybe 10 to 12:30 and I'll leave before the end. Like once I know I have enough footage for the edit, and I'll get home at 1 and I'll edit till 4, and then I'll export and I'll sleep on it. I'll wake up at like 10 and look at it again, and if it's good, I'll send it.
Yo, Peter, what's good?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
What's up?
How you doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
well.
Man.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. I've been listening to this for a minute, so when you guys messaged me, it was kind of cool that I got to hop on.
No way.
Really?
Yeah, like, I know there's like the Ryerson connection there, so like Juan put me on it, and he was on early, so.
Yeah. Did you listen to his episode?
No, I didn't actually, which is shocking. What are the ones I listened to recently? I listened to Ryan's, which is like a recent one.
Oh, do you know Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan and I were like acquaintances.
Do you guys ever work together?
We were supposed to work for Ryerson Rams this year, and then I just got hired by someone else, so I didn't do that.
Wait, are you still in school?
Yeah.
Damn, so you're balancing YouTube, school, and then you work full time.
And freelance.
And freelance.
But I'm only in one course in school.
Well, how do you fucking balance that? That just gives me anxiety.
Oh, it's like one course, man. It's like whatever.
But even then, it's like, forget the school.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, well, we can leave that off the record if you want that on the record, because I kind of like what we're saying right now, and I kind of want to put in the podcast. But
yeah, do it, 100%.
So like, what the hell? Like, how do you, even if it's not like, forget about school, like, how do you balance like freelance, full-time job? I mean, and school, like, how do you balance those two? Because like 9 to 5 just seems draining.
We've tried and we didn't do so hot.
No, I think, there's 3 things: YouTube, freelance, full-time. How do you balance that and like say hi to your mom?
That's actually a good question. For like full-time, like, it's carved out, like it's your 9 to 5. So you just know those hours are blocked off, and like that's okay. So then freelance happens like in the evenings, and like, you respond to emails when you can and stuff. It's important to have like a good team around you. So like, going to school, like that's one of the great things that happen. Like you meet a lot of people who you can work off of. So like if I need someone to cover me for freelance, or I need to like delegate tasks, like I can take on a big project, and then I can hire guys out from the school programs. So that's the only way I can really manage freelance right now. But I take on some stuff, and then I delegate some stuff. And then YouTube, like, man, I only record for YouTube once every month or 2. And I just sit down and do like 4 or 5 videos recording at once. And then when I'm free, I just edit and post one every 2 weeks.
That's the way. So I don't know if you know, I did some YouTube stuff too, and like kind of lost the joy of it. Like it was like fun for a bit, but then it started becoming like burdensome, and I wasn't in love with being on camera and like doing this kind of present-y thing, and I just didn't like it that much. But I'll go back to it soon. I found that doing multiple shoot in one day and then editing later is the way to go. But to be honest, for me, the most draining part is editing. Like, what do you find about YouTube that maybe you don't like the most?
Oh, definitely the metadata and stuff. Like when I finish the video and I export it, I just want to put it out in the world.
Yeah.
Then you need to make a thumbnail, and you gotta like keyword everything, and like you gotta research which keywords are trending and put them all in the right order, and you gotta write a description that's like tailored to your metadata, and then you gotta cut like trailer cuts of your video to like promote it on different socials. So it's like you finish the video, and then there's like this whole other thing you have to do, and like all this other stuff, and that can like delay you by a couple days for nothing. So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't like that, but like, you gotta play the game.
Well, that's why you got to get on Fiverr, my guy. Get one of these dudes to who does all the other YouTubers stuff. Isn't it pretty cheap? Have you looked into that?
Oh, I looked into it a little, but I don't know, man. Like I know I can do it, so it's like you need to delegate sometimes, but like I don't want to delegate that. Like it's so easy. There's like tools you can get that just like do it for you. So I don't want to like pay some dude like $20 to go and do that.
Right. But so when do you experience, is there a time of year at all, like do you ever experience like just creative burnout? Because it just seems like you do so much, and I think we've all been there, you do so much, and you just like get sick of it all. Like how often do you experience it?
Oh, every Friday night, 100% every Friday night. I always finish work on Friday, and I say that I'm going to be really productive and I'm going to get a lot of stuff done. And then I immediately finish at 5 and lie on the couch till midnight watching basketball. But
so you don't work on weekends? Because I would have thought freelance.
Oh, I do work on weekends. Saturday and Sunday is a grind. But
oh my god.
But Friday night I finish the whole work week, and Friday night just like I never get anything done. I just can't bring myself to do it. So that's my little burnout of the week. And like,
And are you working on the other weeknights? Because that sounds terrifying to me. I'm a
Yeah.
person that like I finish work or whatever at like 5 or 6, and I'm like, I don't want to touch my computer until tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no, I feel you, and I feel the same way sometimes. But I try to do like a couple hours every night. So like I'll already be on my computer. That's the great thing about working from home. I don't need to like go from the office home to like do my freelance stuff. I just close a browser and open a browser, and then like I'm into my freelance stuff, and I can just power through from 5 to like 7 or 5 to 8.
You're a savage. You are a savage. Oh my
Man, but
goodness.
you gotta love it, right? Like if you don't like love doing this stuff, then you're not gonna do it all the time. But like I was making basketball videos like before my job was making basketball videos. So like there's no reason to stop that now.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Well, the thing with Mose, I mean, I feel like everyone has their own ideal life, and like some people just like wanna shut down. You know, after like 7 is like the hard cutoff. Like, that's my hard cutoff. Like 7, I'm like, if I keep going past this, my next day is not gonna be like, I'm not gonna wake up with like lust and like passion for what I want to do. You know, so like for me, I don't experience like a day where I get burnout. It's like week spans, and if I don't just like really regiment my time where like there's off time and on time, I just can't. Like it just. I almost burnt the fuck out before Corona. It was like January. I got sick and stuff. Like, do you ever get those week-long burnouts, or is it just the one day?
No, 100%. Like they happen for longer sometimes. And like sometimes you just like push all your freelance deadlines and like then you just push them all week and then you don't do any freelance that week. And you just like do your 9 to 5 and that's it. You just let your YouTube channel run. And like whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm.
And like, sometimes it's like that. And like, you guys know that burnout happens. It's real.
But it's weird that it happens because you're like, I made basketball videos before I was paid to make basketball videos. So like, you obviously love it, but then you also like just almost you over time you learn to hate it and love it. It's like this on and off relationship.
Well, I don't hate it, but it's like I like pancakes. I had pancakes for breakfast this morning, but I don't want to have 20 pancakes.
But don't you ever hate pancakes if you have them every morning for 2 weeks? Don't you just eventually hate them?
Maybe, but I also have cereal every morning, so.
True, but cereal's special. Okay, well, what's your go-to cereal choice?
Oh, dude, Cheerios.
Honey Nut?
Solid choice.
Multigrain. Have you
Very
tried the
solid
multigrain?
choice.
Yeah, but I need some spice in my life, dude. I need those, what's that, Captain Crunch? Or no, not Captain Crunch. The toast one, Cinnamon Toast
Cinnamon
Crunch.
Toast Crunch. Oh my god, man!
That's
I can't
the
do
one.
sugary cereals. I'm so dry. I eat like all bran and plain
Yeah.
Cheerios and shit.
Yeah, you're a psychopath, but anyways, like, so you said you love basketball videos. Like, how'd you get into the whole sport filming game?
So like when I was in high school, I was playing basketball for like a pretty decent team in high school, and like we were competitive and stuff, and I was playing rep and like the whole deal. And like I didn't end up playing beyond high school because like I'm a 5'11" white dude, so like let's be real. And
I know the feeling.
yeah, we all do.
That's why we played hockey.
True.
We're not as tall. Anyways.
But anyways, so like a few years down the road later, like I got into filming stuff when I I was in business school, and like out in Quebec, some like tiny school. I didn't really like it that much. It was like whatever, but I was wanting to like get away, so I went to Australia on like an exchange program. And
That's getting away.
Yeah. Like what's the furthest place from where I am right now? And I just wanted to like keep a journal, but I don't like writing, so I got a little GoPro and started filming stuff. And then I ended up making like 45 vlogs or something on YouTube. And so I was like, this editing thing is kind of cool. Like maybe I can do this. So then I got back to Canada, and my old coaches from when I was playing ball in high school hit me up because I was filming stuff. And they asked me if I wanted to like come out to their league or whatever and just film a couple things. And they're going to give me like a couple $100 or something. So I started doing that. And like that was my first like sports client, I guess. And I just loved it so much. I went and did that every weekend for them. And I'm still doing it, like not with COVID, but like before COVID and when COVID done, I'll still be doing that for them. And, I just kept building out from there, and I would post my work online, and then people would see it and be like, oh, you make sports videos? Oh, come here and do this for me. And then, I got to Ryerson, and it's like, oh, you want to shoot a Ryerson Rams game? And I'm like, heck yeah, I want to do that. So I asked for that, but like, I did a good job. And so then I got to do that too. And you just build out like that. And, eventually people catch on to your work, and you shoot higher levels and get to do it more often.
But what do you think like draws you to video editing? Like, what is it about, you know, the puzzle pieces that in the software where you make this like thing that you conceptualize on paper and then you put into like action?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty introverted. At least for the most part. Like here it's fine, obviously it's like a small setting, but I don't like going out into like big crowds. Like I don't like going to like a club and shooting a club event. Like that's the worst time for me. So when I get to sit down and edit, it's like all the hard work is done for me. I just get to be in my office. I take like a nice cup of coffee and put it next to me. And like I just get to relax and take my time and meticulously craft a story. And I love that. I can sit there for 20 hours and just like do like monotonous stuff, like like motion track stuff manually. And like I love it because it's just like me alone, like enjoying myself in the quiet, like just making something that I can be proud of.
Mm-hmm. Like you don't like the chaos of maybe an arena or like a club, like you said. Like you just like the piece. Whereas I feel like there's a couple different types of videographers. Personally, I love the shooting and I don't love the editing. Like the shooting is like there's chaos and everything's going everywhere. I'm like yelling at people like we need this shot, get here. Like I love the franticness about a sports game.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't. That's
very interesting. I feel like you're more in like the majority. I feel like more people feel the way you do. And like I do like being at a sports game. Like don't get me wrong, it's fun. But I don't want to do it for 8 hours. And I have had to do that before. And it gets draining. I need to like drink like 4 coffees and just like force myself through it. So like I can do that for like an hour or two, and then I just want to go sit down on my computer and start editing already.
So what are you doing right now for the full-time work? Because when I was like, you know, seeing your social media and everything, like you're doing a lot of basketball stuff, and it's with the CEBL. Is that what it was? Yeah. So you work with the league itself? Yeah.
So I'm like the league's videographer. Like it's a startup, so I'm like the only video guy right now. I'm sure that's going to change going forward, but you know, COVID times. And I'm just taking all the archive footage from the past 2 years and using it to promote different players, different teams, trying to find like unique ways to cut it to keep the social feed going without needing to like shoot more stuff. And I just have access to like the whole archive there, and I edit out of all of that, and like I got it all organized and stuff.
So what does your day-to-day look like? Are you doing like 1 minute videos for the most part, or do you do longer stuff? Like let's take us through that really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I definitely, it's like the vast majority of my videos are under a minute. So I usually will start the day and like, usually I'll get like, we get requests from the teams. So they'll send me something and they'll be like, okay, we need like a 1 minute video to like promote this player because he's re-signing or something, right? So then I go through like we have like, it's a FIBA league. So we have like the play-by-play, and like FIBA keeps that stuff updated. So I can like go online and search the play-by-play for any game that we've had, which is really nice. So I'll go to like that team's games from last season and like Control F and put that player's last name. And I can go through and like see all his plays, like when he subbed in, when he subbed out, like when he made a shot, whatever. And then I just go through the footage to find those moments. I'll cut them out, and then I have all that player's plays called into like a timeline and labeled and everything. And then I can use that to start assembling a video for that player. And like a few hours later, I'll have like his little like mix for social media done. And I send that to the team and they promote it. And it's just a lot of doing that. Sometimes I'll just go through and find like individual plays that are kind of fun and start cutting like Instagram reels. And then we'll just like, I'll do like 10 of those in a day, you know, and then we'll just post them all up over the course of 2 weeks. And they just keeps like the socials like flooded with video content. So like people are constantly being engaged, and we're constantly have the opportunity to get pushed out with bigger pages like Bleacher Report or Ball is Life or whatever else it's going to be.
Yeah, it just keeps people entertained and coming back to that page for more, which is the biggest thing. It's like you don't want to just create content for the sake of being consistent, but you want to create content that, you know, people want to see a cool play in basketball. They want to just, you know, like personally, like when I'm scrolling through my Explorer, like I just like watching random highlights from like an NBA game or whatever. As long as it's cool, like that's good. And what I notice is I've worked with some clients, and when they talk to me about making a video, I'm like, your idea here isn't like, I don't think you're thinking about how do I make people follow me and be entertained and like interested. They're just like, how do we advertise? So do you ever have those conversations with like the league where they're like, we want this educational thing, we want to like, you know, promote this, but they don't understand that you have to also make it engaging and entertaining? Do you ever grapple with that?
No, they're actually like, I think maybe it's because like it's a smaller league, so like there's more room for everyone's individual voice to be heard. It's not like the NBA where there's like a million editors or something, but like we're pretty good at like keeping things entertaining. And I think everyone recognizes that having content that's entertaining is the most important thing. Like if you're pushing a sponsor or something, but you're doing it in a way that's not like engaging for other people, then no one's going to care, and the sponsor's not going to get anything good out of it. So even if we integrate them a little bit more subtly, but we just keep the video engaging, get a lot of eyeballs on it, that's going to be better for us in the long run. And I think we're pretty good at like this innovating on new ideas and like ways to keep things entertaining, and like doing more for sponsors and on the video side of things at least, than just like put their end bumper at the end of the video and then make it like some random thing that has nothing to do with them. At least that's how I feel. But it's fun because being in a small league, there's like a lot of chance for me to like push my creative boundaries, and I can put forward creative ideas. Like I can see something on Bleacher Report and be like, that was cool, I want to do it. And then they're just like, yeah, run with it. That'll work really well.
It's like a playground. It's like a open sandbox playground for, a young creator who's been in the space, not like a veteran or anything. He's just like really you're learning your craft more, you're getting better and better and growing. You almost need a place like this to start out. It's almost like if you start out at an NBA as a junior editor, or you start out wherever, these big organizations, I don't think you'll grow as fast or ever reach levels where you can become, a superstar creative director or whatever. It's like these days where these days where you're, have so much creative control, I just think it's going to make you a better creator than anyone who starts with a credited big organization.
Oh, I totally agree. And like, you guys have talked to guys who work for like TSN, MLSE, and like the big players in Canadian sports. And like, that's great. That's like job security. That's shooting for like the best athletes in the world. And like, that's amazing. But I feel like I have the chance right now to build out my portfolio the way I want to. And I can make the videos that like I'm really proud to make and I want to show to everybody. And I don't know if you always have that opportunity necessarily, or at least if you have that opportunity as frequently in larger organizations. So I'm really happy with where I'm at for the moment.
Well, you say you have videos you're really proud of. I think Mose sent me one of yours and he was like, dude, these match cuts are fire. And I want to get you to break down this content.
Okay.
I'll put the video.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like the last one on my Instagram, probably.
The Spalding one, I think they reposted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to walk us through? So I thought you shot this stuff, but you didn't?
No, I didn't shoot any of that. That's just all random footage that I pieced together.
Can you like just like walk the viewership through like that process of editing? Because if I were to like loosely describe it, there's a lot of match cuts and motion tracking of the ball, and it made this like seamless experience to really cool music, and it just kind of made like these guys who may not be the best basketball players in the world, but it just made them like look like they're having a great time, and the league has good talent through good storytelling and video storytelling.
Well, that's the first thing. I'm blessed that the league actually does have good talent. It's not NBA level, obviously, but like it's pretty comparable to like the G League, which is like still good, obviously. But like when I'm shooting that video, like obviously the sponsor for the video is Spalding. So, and like the official ball of the league is a Spalding ball. So the whole idea was like put the viewer's attention on the ball. So like, how do I do that? Well, first, like I motion track a whole bunch of stuff. Like there's a kind of a common theme in my work. So like, okay, well, I'm going to motion track the ball. That's going to be a theme. And the match cut thing, I was watching like, and this is something I do a lot. I was going through other basketball videos on Instagram just for inspiration. And I saw a guy who like shot, like he saw like a ball shooting, and then it went in the basket and there was a match cut, and it went to another ball that was already in the air, and then that ball went into. And I was like, that was sick. So that's how I decided like I was going to just set up match cuts, and I would transition through shots by either motion tracking the ball and hiding cuts and motion blur and stuff, or by match cutting on the ball. And I don't know, there was this one shot in particular that I'm really proud of, where there's like a Luma fade, where like one guy's dribbling the ball and it stops at the top, and then it fades into another guy dribbling the ball. I can't really describe it. I guess there's no video component to this, but I don't know, just like, and it just kind of like, I'd done Luma fades before, obviously. I'd done match cuts before. I'd done motion tracking before. But I just saw an opportunity to take these separate skills that I learned and combine them all in one place. And like, I think doing that type of stuff is how that video really came together. Just having a skill set developed from a lot of different videos that I could apply to one thing for like, and like really sit down and take 2-3 days to do it. That having that time really made that video a good one.
Where to like you say you're going on Instagram and you find content that inspires you. Where are you? What are your go-to guys?
Usually I'll just like go through hashtags. I'll search like hashtag SM Sports, hashtag basketball
What's
edits.
SM Sports? Because I see people hashtag that. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I don't even know what it stands for. But it might be like sports media sports or some shit. I really don't know. I probably totally messed that up. But it's just like the hashtag for the sports creative community on the internet. So if you're in the sports creative community, you hashtag SM Sports, and other people who work in sports and do creative stuff will also be under that hashtag.
Well, I'm looking at this right now, but continue with what you were saying. So who are some guys that are go-tos? Like we had a really good one, Leo the Creator. I don't know if you listened to that episode or heard of him. He's done some really good basketball videos.
Leo the Creator, never seen that before.
He's great. University of Minnesota content creator.
Okay.
Real good.
I don't want to forget any guys. There's this dude who works for the Cavs. I think it's like David Sonsa or something. He's pretty sick. I think the Cavs in general, I just follow the Cavs on Instagram because I think the video content is top notch. This is an obvious one. Everyone knows who Ty Rogers is, but he's not bad. There's this dude who shoots for Nebraska, and I don't think he's like a big famous guy or anything. It's like Mike Rapsis or something. And I've seen a couple of his videos because he just posted in like some creative community that I was in on Facebook. And I was like, dude, your videos for Nebraska are nuts. Like this is like some random basketball team in the middle of nowhere, America. And like, so I watch him a lot.
What's his at?
I think it's like MRapsis14 or something. MRAPSYS, I think. Don't quote me.
Okay, well,
yeah.
We can figure it out after the pod, but yeah, we always like getting people's new, like their inspiration, like who we should follow, because like I've gotten so many cool follows from this podcast, just talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I think is like a bit of a problem in sports and sport media, and we had this guy Grant Tucker on, who's really good, and he was saying he noticed in sports design, that world, like everyone's like copying each other. Like nothing is original. It all looks the same. All the teams want to look the same. So like, what's your take on that with video? Because I'm starting to see it too.
Like, to an extent, it's true, and to an extent, it's not. Like, I think at a basic level, when you're first starting, and you don't have like the technical skills maybe to like put your own spice on it, then everything does look the same because like you're filming the same type of stuff. You're probably not like whipping the camera in some crazy ways, and like there's confines around this. Like, it's still a basketball game. There's only so much you can do to make it look different. But I think that when you get more advanced into editing, you understand different editing techniques, then you can draw inspirations from different types of work. Like you can look at like commercial video editing or anything else outside of sports and take some of those effects and find a creative way to apply them to sports. And you can take like visual effects elements and add them into your videos. And that kind of can elevate you and create a different look that you like, not something that you get out of camera, something that you've created digitally. And I think you can differentiate yourself that way. But, to an extent, like it's all going to look kind of similar. And a lot of it's going to come down to personal taste.
When you do feel like you're getting stale or you're stuck in a rut, do you have any go-to strategies or mindsets or any kind of tips that you would give somebody else in that situation?
Yeah, like I feel like if you're just making the same stuff over and over again, like just take a couple of days and like just consume. Like just go on YouTube and search up like sports video tutorials, or like go like watch Gatorade commercials. Like, man, I'll sit there and watch ESPN just for the commercials when they're like hyping up games. Cause like they'll do like March Madness commercials and like NBA commercials, and they'll use the craziest effects in these things. And like we just pass it off so nonchalantly because it's just like a commercial on TV. But there is some crazy stuff on there, and you can draw some really good inspiration from that, and then take some of those concepts from all these different stuff that you've been consuming and apply them to your video in a way that kind of matches your style. And it can just kind of like make something, like it can give you like a fresh look to your videos. So I like doing that a lot.
And that's I want to bring something up because I think it's important. That's not, I think what's different about consuming from commercials and from television is that a lot of the times that doesn't look like social media. And I think that kind of avoids the trap of getting stuck in that loop where you're just like seeing similar work and it starts to blend into your work. So I just wanted to bring that up as being super important.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't touch on that, but thank you for mentioning that.
Sometimes I feel like I look at some social media sport videos and I'm like, people are maybe trying to do a lot of different stuff and like, you know, get more creative and whatnot, but I feel like sometimes they lack the fundamentals of like, how do you make the pacing of the edit good? Fuck effects, like overlays, whatever. It's like, why do I feel like I'm watching this sport edit and it doesn't take me through like ebbs and flows and like gaining my attention, losing it for a bit, but then snapping it back? Like there's like fundamentals to this stuff that I feel like lacks because effects are so like what's the word? Flashy, like gets you clout.
Trendy. It's trendy to like do effects.
Yeah, like I always kind of stayed away from it because I'm like an old man in inside, and I like, you know, being like that guy who's like the old days and cutting. You know, what's your stance on effects and like, you know, sticking to fundamentals? Like, is there a line where like you're just always that boring guy? Because I look at Ty Rogers, that's a fundamentals guy to his core, and I love his content, but he doesn't use much effects, and it does well for him. So what's your stance on effects versus sticking to the fundamentals?
Yeah, you know, I think that I'm really happy you mentioned that first off. But I think that like effects can make something good into something great, but like you can't polish a turd. Like if it's bad, like effects aren't gonna make it good. It's just gonna look cheesy and out of place. So I think like if you just start shooting sports, like you can definitely learn the fundamentals of editing. But I think it's important to like shoot stuff outside of that and like really dabble in like making commercials, cutting vlogs, like things like that, just so you can learn how to like pace and edit and learn the fundamentals of just like cutting stuff together. And like, you know, once you can actually like cut properly and your videos are good standing alone without effects, so you can just cut the video, put sound design on it, and it sounds good and like it looks appealing, then you can start focusing on effects. And I think a lot of people are too quick to just like go get effects templates and just drag and drop them over top of random footage that they haphazardly cut and then just post it. And I'm not talking about anyone in particular when I say that, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's like trendy to do that nowadays.
It's trendy, but there's also this positive feedback loop from people who just don't know necessarily like what's good or bad. Cause like, you know, sometimes I have friends like send me some work and like, this is sick. And I watch them like, this isn't good, but like you like it. And like, what matters more, like pleasing the videographer and the production guy or pleasing the people actually consuming your content? How do you balance those two?
Oh, well, for sure. You got to please the people who are consuming. Like not every video can be for yourself. You know, I'm sure you guys have heard like one for me, one for them type of thing. And I'm not saying it's always going to be like you're going to make one that you're proud of and then one for the audience. But like, you just got to suck it up. And sometimes you're going to make a video and you're not going to be the biggest fan of it. But it's what you got to do. Like we all do stuff to make a living. And you're going to make that video to achieve a specific purpose. And people are going to resonate with it. But it might not be something that's full of effects that you're really proud of. And that's okay. But there's going to be opportunities where you can make something that you are proud of. And, you know, when you can do that and really push your own limits, then enjoy that process.
I want to talk about just quickly a different type of compromise that I try to ask this question with most people that come on. Mm-hmm. So we have this like format of you sit in the editing booth, you crank out a really polished 1-minute video, but then you also have like individual clips that are so much easier to put together. And sometimes those clips actually do better on social. How do you balance the two from putting out content that might not have that editing polish on it versus like committing to putting in that creative and that, I guess, emotional labor? How do you balance those two?
You know, I think it depends on like what the goal of your page is. Like if you're like, take the CEBL page, for example, the goal of the CEBL page is like to promote that brand of basketball and promote that league and drive engagement so that more people know about the league. So if that's your goal, then like I think it's good to be posting those small clips because you can just post more frequently. Like people like that stuff. It gets eyeballs on your page. Is it going to wow anybody with your crazy editing skills? No, but it's going to achieve the purpose that page wants to achieve. Whereas my page, for example, like I want to show up myself as a skilled editor you can hire to do really crazy stuff if that's what you want. And, you know, if you want me to do not crazy stuff, obviously I can do that. But I want to show off my editing skills on my page. So for me, like posting a little 15-second video with not much to it, like it doesn't really elevate my brand and achieve my goal of showcasing myself as an editor. So I would rather post maybe 2 or 3 times a month, but make those posts really high quality. And I don't care how much engagement comes. The people who really care about my work are going to stick around. And the people who don't, like, I don't know, they won't, and that's fine.
So I'm huge on sharing as much of your work on your account. Ideally, you mix your personal account with like your business. Like, but like, what do you believe are like the biggest mistakes you see people do when sharing work to try and get new clients? Is it the lack of sharing? Is it the type of content they share? Like, I want you to walk me through what you find makes your page successful with marketing yourself.
I think it's just important to share the type of work you want to be hired for. Like, a lot of people will just post something because it's the most recent thing they made, but they won't necessarily be proud of it. And that might not be the type of work that they want to do going forward. So if you're posting something and people see that, like, it's going to resonate with somebody, and someone's going to want to hire you for that thing eventually. But if you're posting that and that's not what you want to do, then like you're not achieving your goal. So I think you just need to be really like thoughtful about what you're posting and what type of work you want to do going forward. It's important to like have a plan and know which direction you're heading, and not just let whatever falls in your plate take you somewhere.
Right. I mean, I agree 100% with that. But sometimes I think people deal with like the fear of posting. Like, is my work good enough? Is it not? Like, from what I can tell from looking at your page, I don't think you deal with that issue, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, like you haven't looked at my archives, so that's why.
How many times you delete something? No, don't tell me you're one of the guys who posts it, doesn't get enough engagement, then you delete it, or
No, I mean like old stuff. No, not like that, but like old stuff from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And like, look, your work's, you're always gonna look back on your work a year from when you made it, and you're gonna cringe.
Oh,
but like,
it's the worst.
You just got to be kind of happy with where you are right now, and just like, do your best and share it. It'll stick with someone.
I'm looking here. You were into concerts and stuff. Was that a phase?
No, before COVID, I was into concerts pretty big. I shot North by Northeast
Nice.
the last time they had it, and I was scheduled to do it again before COVID, and like that was pretty fun.
Heartbreaking. You got to shoot Killy, Anders. These are like Canadian legends. 88 Glam. Oh wait, wasn't this at Dundas Square?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. I was really looking forward to doing that again. Maybe I'll do it again after like COVID ends and concerts are a thing again.
Where do you want to take your like skills in the future? So like I'm seeing you have a passion for the music side of concerts shooting, but you also have this passion for basketball. You played and you're working in it. What's your future looking like?
My future is like, I hope my future is sports. Am I gonna be able to like accurately predict my future? Absolutely not. Nobody can. But like my goal going forward is to be the best sports videographer that I can. And that's the field that I want to make my career in. Concerts is like a fun thing for me. And if they come up, I'll do them. But like going back to that thing, like I don't want to be in a concert, like in a mosh pit getting shots like all the time. It's a good adrenaline rush, but I don't want that to be my day to day or night to night rather.
It's high energy. It's definitely
The hours suck.
The hours are horrible, man. It's like 10 to 2, and then you have to go home and bang out edits. And there's edits on my page where I've shot a concert and gone home and edited for the night and then turned the editor on to 10 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Like you don't sleep?
No, like I'll shoot the concert from like maybe 10 to 12:30 and I'll leave before the end. Like once I know I have enough footage for the edit, and I'll get home at 1 and I'll edit till 4, and then I'll export and I'll sleep on it. I'll wake up at like 10 and look at it again, and if it's good, I'll send it.
And for my curiosity, when are you smashing a coffee when you get home? Because you strike me as one of those people that would not care, smash the coffee and then go straight into the edit.
Not at 1 a.m. But like if I'm shooting a concert or something, like back when that was a thing, like I would definitely have a coffee before I went out at like 10:30 p.m.
Wow.
Just to keep me going. And I always make sure to take it. If I know I'm doing it, I make sure to take a nap in the middle of the day.
Oh my God.
Pre-game nap. Pre-game.
Pre-game.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're saying I'm going through your Instagram again, and you were saying like you don't like the nightclub stuff, and then I'm here. Look at Mr. Peter at the Bumble Party. What's it called? I think wasn't this a Ryerson event?
Yes.
At Petty Cash?
Yeah, it was.
So it's like you do things that maybe you don't like.
Well, it's like it's little doses,
right? Or what?
it's little doses. I'm not doing it all the time, but like once every couple months, yeah, I'll shoot a party. And like especially the Bumble thing. Like Bumble is such a well-known name. Like if a name who's like at the time they were like the Bumble logo was on the Clippers jersey. It's like, come on, man. That's like everyone knows who that is. It's like you asked me to shoot that, like I'm gonna go shoot it and I'm gonna put a lot of time into it. But like that video, like it was shot in like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I spent 40 hours editing it, and it's like 50 seconds long.
40 hours.
Yeah.
This better be a masterpiece when I watch this after the.
The whole thing is drawn effects.
Oh damn. Okay,
that's probably
that's
why.
a lot of time.
Yeah, that was all by hand with the mouse. I don't have like a drawing pad or anything.
No.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh my god.
I actually did that in the Ryerson Computer Labs.
Shout out Ryerson Computer Labs. They've started many careers.
They and made many men feel like they want to quit.
Yes.
Wait, the computer labs or the suites, like where you get the key?
No, not the one with the key. Like,
Oh, so you socialized, like you saw human beings?
like I was like, there was another class happening, and I was in the back of that class that I wasn't enrolled in on my computer working on that.
Okay, let's talk about this though. That's clutch of that teacher to let you stay, because there are teachers that are like, you're not in the class, you gotta go.
Yeah, they had a picture of my face on the wall. I couldn't.
If you see this guy, kick him out of the lab.
And like literally kick him out, like with your feet. Like I could never stay in there when there was a class. So what kind of charm did you develop to stay
did
in
you
there?
bring a coffee? Was it did you bribe the teacher in some way? We gotta know.
I put my hood on and I keep my head down and I sit in the back corner and I don't socialize with anyone.
So this guy's stealth mode.
And if I'm not causing any disturbance, most people are okay with me.
Oh my god. Well, me and Mose would just chill in like the suites, like locked away in like the RTA lab, and it would just get. It was good because you're isolated and you were really productive, but at the same time, you're like, there's no windows. I smell Mose's farts. There's no airflow. This is like
those feet.
Yeah, it gets lonely in there. But yeah, like I want to talk about like loneliness in this field, because as a freelancer, I guess you're kind of alone working with the company you're working with, CEBL, correct? Like there's no second editor. Like how do you manage like feeling like you can't bounce ideas off people? You don't have a strong community where you see their faces every day. Like I remember dealing with that and it was hard to deal with that sometimes as a freelance videographer. You just don't have that community like you do at an office.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Like I feel like I can still bounce ideas off the other people in the marketing department, because like there's other like graphic designers and media managers and stuff, and are they specialists in video like me? No. But like, can I give them an idea and like they understand enough to like give me other suggestions and like bounce those ideas off of me? Like for sure. And I don't even like being in an office. Like I prefer working remotely from home. It's so much better. And like as an editor, I don't need to be in an office for anything. I can edit anywhere. So like to be able to just like hop on a quick like FaceTime with someone or send someone an email in my department and bounce ideas off of them and share links with each other for inspiration and like message each other on Instagram about ideas, but then like be in our own little silos doing our thing and like really refining our work. I love that. So I don't feel like very alone, even if I am working from home.
Mm-hmm. Like there's some people that are like, I'm alone but not lonely,
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone has their own different strokes. And it's like, I always ask whenever I talk with people who like, because I've talked to a couple guys at Ryerson before I graduated, asking me about like, how do you get into freelance? Like, how do you make it like full time and whatnot? And I'd kind of be like, I feel like people, it's like glorified to be a freelancer, but it's not for everyone, because in a personality way, not necessarily a work way. It's like, do you like being alone, being up late, like you were saying, from shooting at 10 and then you're back at home at 1 and then you're editing? Like it's so like isolating at times, and just it requires a specific person who's okay with being alone. Like, do you ever have these coffee sessions with people, and like, you can kind of just tell when someone's not meant for it and someone who is meant for it?
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that like everyone needs to be an editor. Like we can't all be editors. Like, so like someone needs to not edit, otherwise I'm not gonna have a job. So, but I think that if you're into media, then you can find something for you. As you guys know, there's like so many roles in this industry, and some of them are very social and some of them are very reserved, and some are very hands-on and some are more hands-off and like bigger picture. So regardless of who you are, I think you can find something that is gonna fit you.
Going back to so you're the only videographer at the CEBL. I think I got that right. How important is it for you when there's no one else, no other like creative people around, for you to be able to like translate all the video jargon and explain an idea to somebody who is not technical? How important would you say that is to maintaining relationships in the office, but also for like keeping your own sanity?
Oh yeah, I you definitely think you need to like lower things down to like a more understandable level sometimes.
And how do you do that? Do you have any tips for that?
Yeah, just like it's hard. It's like there's a lot of it becomes tough when you edit a lot. You don't understand like what terms are editing terms and what terms just like terms regular people would say. But a lot of the times I'll like throw around editing terms with people in my personal life just to see if they're like, what does that mean? And if they say, what is that? Like, then I can't use that term anymore. I need to like.
I love that.
Can we get an example of that term, of a term? I'm trying to
So
think
it's like
Speed ramping.
there's yeah, maybe I'm talking to like my brother or something, and I'm telling him about my work, and like I was like, oh, like I put this thing on my timeline. He's like, what's a timeline? I was like, okay, I can't use the word timeline anymore.
Oh, I see. Yeah. What the hell do you say though? There's no substitute
You
for
can just be like,
timeline.
you can I put it in my video.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes
You know what I mean?
sense.
Like just like
Yeah.
think of like the simplest terms, like how you would describe something to like a 3-year-old, and like not to say like I don't not in like a belittling way, obviously, but like you don't need to talk about like use like the turbulent displace effect on your text in After Effects to animate it. Just be like, oh, I made the text wiggle.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. You went to RnR. So can we walk through like your education,
Yeah.
how you got into it? You said you were in business, then you went away to Australia, then like Ryerson. Like, can you walk us through that journey? Because I feel like I also want to touch on whether you should go to school for media or not. Because I think you should if you're not going to go in crazy debt with school. It just makes sense. You meet the right people. Ryerson gives opportunities to shoot Ryerson Rams. Like, I don't know if you would be, I don't know if any of us, three of us, would be where we are today, happy with our work, if we didn't go to school for media, which is like that thing you don't want to say at Thanksgiving dinner to your like family, you know, like you're like, what do you do for school? So, to your cousin, you're like sport media, and they kind of look at you funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I don't think we would be so successful in our place in our life if we didn't go.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. None of us probably would be as successful as we are. But I'll give you a quick educational background on me, and then I'll lead that into the next point. So I graduated high school in 2014, and then I went straight to business school. I thought I was going to be like a stockbroker or like a banker or something. I actually finished business school out of Bishop's University in Quebec, finance and economics, 4 years. The third year was in Australia. And after that, like I knew in my fourth year that I didn't want to do business and that I wanted to do media. So I applied to this new film program at George Brown College. And I credit George Brown College, like going to college specifically versus university, with being the thing that taught me a lot of skills. Like I learned more than I've ever learned in a formal education setting in college for film for 1 year. I dropped out of that program before the second year because I just felt like I got everything that I needed out of it, and applied to Ryerson. Got into Ryerson. And you know, you guys like, I don't think I actually learned anything at Ryerson. Like technically I didn't learn anything, I don't think. Like, cause like you guys know that for like university and stuff, if you're talking about practical skills, you're covering like very basic stuff. It's like, this is how you cut a clip in Premiere, and like this is like how you turn a camera on. And it's like I was already working freelance, right? So like that wasn't like new. But as you guys know, and I guess I'm just reiterating for anyone listening, but the connections that you make and like having the opportunity to shoot for Ryerson Rams and like interact with other people who are also into sport media and want to make a career out of that, even if I'm in media production and I'm not specifically focused on sports, like that's huge. And then you could build that network, and that's the network that you have going forward in your career. Do you need to go to school for that? Debatable. If you can afford to, should you? Like, I would say so, but don't break the bank. Like you can make connections in other ways. And realistically, if you're skilled and your portfolio is really good, someone's going to hire you.
So what was like something at Ryerson that you took away the most in the education side? Because I feel like there's still some merit to the education side.
Okay, well, that's the thing. I got a full-time job after first year, so I never got that far.
And what do you mean didn't get that far?
Like I'm not that far through my program at Ryerson.
Oh, wait, so you're only in second year?
I'm technically second year, but I have like 3 years worth of credits because I have all the transfer credits from business school.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I haven't actually done any of like the intense learning that you would get in your last couple of years. Like I'm taking media history right now. Like just like an early course that's like very generic theoretical. So I haven't done a lot of that like deep learning. And like as someone who's like working full time now, like I don't know. Like, is there even more for me to learn in school? I don't know, but I'm gonna see you through.
Damn. I thought you were graduated for some reason. Clearly didn't do enough research.
Well, I don't advertise that. Like,
No. You don't advertise Ryerson Sport Media in your bio?
yeah,
Or Ryerson
no.
Media Production? I used to put that in and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I telling people I'm still in school if I'm like a freelancer? But I guess last question before we wrap up. I did want to talk about freelancing versus working for a company. Where do you see yourself? Do you want to be a creative entrepreneur and just completely on your own as an individual? Or do you see like yourself in the future with a network?
Man, that's so tough. I couldn't even accurately call it right now because I thought I wanted to be a freelancer, but then I started working a 9 to 5. It's really nice. Like,
okay, break that down. Why is it really nice? Just because it's a block of time and you know what you gotta do?
No, it's because like I don't need to worry about like booking clients and hopping on emails with people all the time, and like managing people and working out deliverables and stuff. Like I just get to execute on technical stuff, and I really like that. And there's other people who I can lean on and who support me. And when I'm freelancing, and there's merits to freelancing too. Like, but when I'm freelancing, like it's all on me. I need to go find the work. You know what I mean? And I need to manage the clients. I need to set all the deliverable dates. I need to do all like the little stuff that's not technical. I need to like keep my own books and like things like that I don't necessarily want to do because like I'm a video person. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an HR person.
I love that. I mean, Mose, is there anything you want to finish with or add? And then maybe we can close out. Or
No, I don't have anything. I'm thinking about the leftover Osmos that I have in my fridge.
Oh my god.
I skipped breakfast this morning, so I got that on the mind.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're gonna go eat some Osmos. I think Mose is gonna, go to a food coma, get Saturday off, feel nice, maybe drink a beer if he hasn't already started. Pete, man, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to plug or just like your Instagram or anything before, I close out the show?
Oh yeah, sure. And my Instagram is @Sarellas, PSARELLAS. I also make sports videography, video editing tutorials on YouTube. It's kind of a thing I've been on recently. So you can go see a kind of an archive of basketball tutorials. That's just youtube.com/Peter Sarellas. I don't know, that's all I have to plug.
All right, man. Thanks so much for coming on. It was a great episode. We love talking to Ryerson guys, especially, even though you're kind of not, but are Ryerson. I'm not sure what to make of it, but thanks so much for coming on, man. It's definitely not in the bio.
Not in the bio.
It's not credible, but he does shoot Ryerson Bumble events, so I don't know. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Follow us at RnR Repeat Podcast on all platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We don't really post there, but follow us. LinkedIn. We're posting content every week, so check us out, give us a follow, and we'll see you next week.
Follow them or else.
Ciao.